There's more to treating Hashimoto's than doctors tell you. The pills, protocols, and diets. So if you've tried everything and you're still exhausted, still inflamed, still not feeling like yourself, then you need to hear this. The reason most women in their 40s never fully heal isn't because they haven't found the right protocol yet. It's because nobody has addressed what's actually driving the immune system to attack the thyroid in the first place. I'm Niti Ma, physical therapist and autoimmune freedom coach. And after 20 years working with hundreds of women with Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism, I've seen what actually moves the needle. And it's not what most people are talking about. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why you've been stuck, and I'll show you a much easier way forward. Your thyroid isn't the problem. It's actually the messenger. The medical system has been looking at Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism completely backwards. Because when your immune system starts attacking your thyroid, the instinct, both yours and your doctor's, is to focus everything on the thyroid itself. Manage the TSH levels, adjust the meds, add more supplements. But here's what 20 years of working with women's bodies has taught me. The thyroid isn't malfunctioning, it's responding. Your thyroid is a small gland that sits at the base of your throat. It regulates your metabolism, your energy, your temperature, your hormones, and it touches almost every system in your body, which means it's also incredibly sensitive. It's like a barometer. So when it starts to slow down, or when your immune system turns on it, that's not random, that's a signal. So think of it this way. If your smoke alarm goes off, you don't fix the problem by removing the battery, you find the fire or the source of the smoke. And for most women with Hashimoto's, the fire isn't in the thyroid, it's actually in the nervous system. It's in years of chronic stress that never got to complete or released. And this is why I see so many women diagnosed within a couple years of having their first child. Pregnancy, birth, the identity shift, the pressure. Something in that season overwhelms the system, and the body never fully comes back down. It's also in emotions that get stored in the body because there was never a safe moment to feel them, so they don't get released and they stay stuck in your tissues. And in the case of Hashimoto's, they stay stuck in the thyroid. So in a system that has been on high alert for so long, it's forgotten what safety even feels like. And this is why so many women who have Hashimoto's, they don't feel like themselves, and they don't know what that even looks like anymore. And until their nervous system gets the signal that it's safe to be themselves, the immune system will keep doing what it does. It protects, it attacks, and it'll defend. And this is why so many women do everything right on paper, but still they don't heal. Not because they're broken, but because the root signal has never been addressed. Most women with Hashimoto's or any other autoimmune condition know that stress is bad for them. But almost nobody explains how stress directly impacts your thyroid in a way that actually makes sense. And often women don't even feel stressed because that's their normal. They're just used to being the one that does all the things and takes care of everybody. So let's break it down simply. When your body perceives stress, and this includes emotional stress, unresolved trauma, constant pressure, even your to-do list, your nervous system switches into fight or flight, because that's the sympathetic nervous system that's responsible for going to work, for taking care of your family. And when this happens, cortisol goes up, adrenaline rises, and your body shifts into survival mode. And that's okay, because we need that in order to function and do life. And in that state, though, your body makes a very logical decision. It shuts down anything that isn't essential to immediate survival. So digestion slows down, reproductive hormones shift, and your thyroid, it pulls back because your body isn't trying to thrive, it's trying to survive. Now, here's the real issue. The system was designed to turn off and then turn off at the end of a workday. But for most women in their 40s, there is no end to our workday. It never turns off. It's just been years of overgiving, overworking, saying yes when you mean no, and holding everything together while quietly falling apart on the inside. So I remember a point in my practice where this became impossible to ignore, because I kept seeing all these women who showed up in my office whose labs didn't fully explain how bad they felt. But when we looked at their lives, the pattern was undeniable. High stress, no recovery, constant pressure with no safe place to land. And their bodies were responding exactly as they were designed to. And this is why Hashimoto's isn't just a thyroid condition. It's a full mind, body, energy, stress response that has been running for far too long. So let's pause for a minute. If you're listening to this or watching this and thinking this sounds exactly like me, then don't skip this next step. I'd like to invite you to take the free inflammation indicator test that I created. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes, and it'll show you the real roots of what's been driving your flare-ups, the layers that no lab test has ever looked at. You get your results instantly, and you get a plan based on your results. So the link is in the description below. Okay, so let's get back to something very important, which is the emotional layer your thyroid has been holding on to. In traditional Chinese medicine, the thyroid and the throat are deeply connected to your voice because the thyroid actually sits on top of your vocal cords, which is your way to self-express and your sense of safety in the world. And clinically, I've seen this play out over and over again. So the women who struggle most with Hashimoto's aren't the ones who don't care about their health. In fact, they're the ones who probably are trying the hardest to stay healthy. They're the ones who care the most. They're the high achievers, the caretakers, the one who hold everything together. And somewhere along the way, they stop taking care of themselves. And so if you're that woman, the one who's always there for everyone else, but you're exhausted and you're overwhelmed and you don't speak up when it comes to your needs and you're feeling like you've lost a part of yourself, I want to say this to you directly. Your body is not working against you. It's speaking for you. The fatigue, the weight that won't move, the brain fog, the flare-ups, these aren't failures. They're boundaries. They're your body finally saying, I can't keep living like this. And what I've seen over and over again is women ignoring these signals. And it's no wonder that the symptoms get worse. So I want you to know that healing doesn't begin with forcing your body. It actually begins with permission. Permission to speak up, permission to stop performing, permission to feel, and permission to listen to your body. So what does healing actually look like when you approach it this way? Well, it starts with something that sounds simple, but changes everything. You actually need to learn the skill that teaches your nervous system that it's safe to switch out of fight or flight mode and into rest, digest, and heal mode. Not intellectually, but physically. Safe in your body, safe in your breath, safe in your environment. Because here's the truth. Your immune system will not stand down until your nervous system does. And your nervous system will not stand down until it receives consistent signals over time that the threat is over. And for many of the women I work with, the threat doesn't look like danger in the obvious sense. It's not a bear coming to chase you down. Often the threat comes from your inner voice, the one that pushes yourself to do more, the one that keeps telling you that you're not enough. That inner critic is the battle that women face. And that's the work and the skills that they need to learn how to face their inner critic and rise above that so that they can heal, so that their nervous system can feel safe. So you actually have to learn to respond to the woman who is forcing this endless to-do list on you. All the responsibilities, the mental load, the dishes, the laundry, the kids, the clutter. And sometimes even your own home doesn't feel safe because it's just a place where you have so many responsibilities. And your nervous system responds to that the same way it would respond to a bear. It prepares to fight, to run, to survive. So if that's the state your body's living in every day, of course your thyroid is struggling. This is why the long-term solution can't just be medications alone. The real solution has to be learning how to regulate your nervous system. And this is a skill. It's about reconnecting with your body's intelligence because you already have everything you need to heal. And when you learn to work with your body instead of overriding it, then everything shifts. And this is exactly what I teach my clients. Not to rely on me, not to rely on pills or rigid protocols, but to understand their body and work with it. And when that shift happens, you can feel it. It's not just numbers on a lab test. It's in how they walk into the room, how their shoulders are softer, how their breath is deeper, their eyes are clearer. There's a sense of coming back to yourself. That's where energy returns. That's where the inflammation eases. And for the first time in a long time, you can feel like yourself again because your body is not broken. It's just waiting for safety to lead that way. And that safety has to come from your inner voice. So if this video has helped you see your Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism in a way you've never seen before, then I'd love to invite you to the next step. I have a free Autoimmune Freedom Workshop where we go much deeper into everything I introduced today. The nervous system connection, the emotional patterns, and the Autoimmune Freedom Code method, and what it actually looks like to begin healing from the inside out. So if you're ready for personalized support, you can also book an activation call with our team. And on this call, we'll look at exactly what your body has been holding on to, why your symptoms keep coming back, and what your healing actually needs to look like from there. So the links are in the description below. And if this resonated, please subscribe because I make videos like this every week for the women who are truly committed to healing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.